Wow, this is great. A real construction site. When can we go in?
Let's meet a construction worker. Chapter 1. Trucks with Teeth.
Hi, you kids.
Our class is taking a field trip. We're visiting a construction zone. Mr. Moore greets us. He is the boss here.
So glad you could come.
He's going to show us how construction workers build a new building. He says we have to stay outside the fence. Workers only in a construction zone. Construction workers are people in the community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. Some construction workers work on buildings. Some build roads. Iron workers, concrete workers, carpenters, roofers, and plumbers are all construction workers. This isn't just any construction site. It's our new school. But right now, it's mostly dirt.
Yes!
Awesome, Aiden says. We can play King of the Hill at recess. Mr. Moore smiles. All this dirt will be flat. You'll have a playground on top. We see lots of trucks. Some work with big metal teeth. Some have strong arms. An excavator digs wide ditches for basements. It digs narrow ditches called trenches for water pipes. It also moves dirt for making roads. The trucks don't do all the work. People are inside. They steer. They guide heavy loads.
Here we go.
Chapter 2. Safety First. Mr. Moore used to be a carpenter. He helped build things with wood. Later, he was the lead carpenter. Now, he is the leader of all the workers.
Yeah, right here.
He follows plans that an architect created. Together, the workers turn those plans into a building.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Construction workers take classes and get training to learn how to do their jobs. They may start work as apprentices. That means they learn on the job from other workers. Mr. Moore's #1 job is keeping people safe. He makes sure workers wear hard hats to protect their heads. They wear orange safety vests so others can see them easily.
That's it. Yeah, perfect.
Beep, beep. A concrete mixer beeps as it backs up.
Beep, beep, beep.
The beeping helps keep everyone safe. Workers know to move out of the truck's path when they hear it.
And stop.
wet concrete flows through a long pipe to the ground. This will be our school floor. Drivers must get the concrete to the construction zone quickly. Concrete begins to dry after about 90 minutes. Then it becomes hard. It won't pour.
Will we sink into it?
Luke asks. Mr. Moore says the concrete will dry and harden. Then carpets and rugs will go on top of it. Chapter 3. Green School. Some workers work high above the ground. Masons build the walls with bricks. Someone runs wires for electricity through the walls. Crunch! Oh. A few bricks break. They will be recycled. So will leftover metal, wood, cardboard, and concrete. Your school is a green school, Mr. Moore says. Amia asks,
Apple green or forest green?
Not the color green, he says. Green means it's earth-friendly.
Aha! Here we go.
He unrolls our school drawing.
Look, it's our school. Wow.
Solar panels on the roof will take in energy from the sun.
Oh, I can't wait.
This energy will power our computers, lights, and more. Big windows can also make a building earth-friendly. Windows and skylights let in sunlight, so people don't always need the lights on. That saves energy. We can't wait for our sunny, green school to be finished.
Oh, boy. Yes.
Because Mr. Moore lends a hand to build our new school, we give him a hand. Oh, thanks. It was my pleasure.
Little girl, big dream. The story of Olympian Samantha Pescic. Little Samantha Pescic loved gymnastics. More than toys, even more than ice cream. And that's saying something. When she was just 5 years old, she watched the Olympics for the first time with her mom and dad. Of course, her favorite part was the gymnastics competition. She loved the way the athletes moved on the floor, the vault, the uneven bars, and the balance beam. It was right then and there that Samantha had a dream. A big dream. "I'm going to be an Olympian," she shouted. Her mom and dad said, "Dream big, Samantha. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to." Samantha thought, "To be an Olympian, I must be the very best gymnast out there." So Samantha practiced and dreamed and practiced and dreamed and practiced and dreamed some more. She even had her mom help her hang the word dream up in her room, so she would never forget her big plan to be the very best. In her room, she would close her eyes and pretend to compete in front of the world, just like the Olympians on TV. She told everyone she met about this dream. "I'm going to be an Olympic gymnast someday." She told her teacher, her neighbor, kids at the park, her coaches, the grocer. And that means I have to be the best, she'd let them all know. The more Samantha practiced, the better she got. She soon found she was great at all of the events, except for one, the balance beam. She would climb onto the beam, put her arms in the air, take a deep breath, bend her knees to jump, and then nothing. For some reason, she was too afraid to do it. This made Samantha very upset. "I couldn't do it, Mom. I have to be the best. Or else I won't be able to go to the Olympics." Samantha's mom looked at her and said, "You have to have the bad days to appreciate the good days. Dream big, Samantha. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to." She remembered that when she went to bed at night, staring at the word dream on her wall. "I can accomplish anything. I won't give up, no matter what." That meant it was time to keep trying at that scary balance beam. And with the help of her new coach, Peter, she finally overcame her fears. With Peter's coaching and her parents' love, Samantha felt unbeatable. Next stop, nationals. Or so she thought. When it was time to compete for her big chance, Samantha made a couple mistakes. She didn't make the team and became an alternate. Samantha was very upset again. 2 little mistakes made her feel like one big failure. "I'm so mad I didn't win," she mumbled on her drive home that day. Her parents looked at her and said, "We don't love you because you win. We love you because we love you. Dream big, Samantha. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to." Samantha kept practicing and dreaming and practicing and dreaming and practicing some more. Finally, the day came. The day she had dreamed about since she was 5 years old. She made the Olympic team. She was all set to compete and be the very best when something terrible happened. While practicing right before the competition, Samantha hurt her ankle. Oh no! Samantha was very upset. And then she remembered her mom and dad's words. "I have to have the bad days to appreciate the good days. I'm not loved because I win. I'm loved because I'm me." Maybe being the very best doesn't always mean winning the gold medal after all, Samantha thought. Maybe being the very best me today means supporting my team. Samantha cheered on her teammates during their floor routines. "You can do it!" She cheered them on during all of their routines. "Yeah!" Dream big, she told them. Yeah! You can accomplish anything you set your mind to, she said. Woo! And they did. Woohoo! Even with her hurt ankle, she was able to compete in the uneven bars. And it was her best routine ever. She stood on the Olympic podium and was awarded a silver medal. She watched as everyone cheered for her and for her team. Today, Samantha coaches kids just like you and reminds them to keep dreaming, keep practicing, and keep supporting each other. Do you have a dream like Samantha?
The Farmer. In the village, everyone is resting. Everyone? Not Paul. Paul mows. Paul rakes. Paul digs. Paul draws water. Until he is exhausted. Every day, Paul watches, inspects, checks. Finally, everything begins to grow. Then everything becomes dry. is not one drop of water for Paul's plans. Paul despairs. But Paul is not alone. And his friend the rain is never truly far away.
Pierre the Penguin, a true story. This is the true story of Pierre, a little penguin in a big museum. It is also about the people at the California Academy of Sciences who worked together to help him through a hard time. Down at the end of African Hall, past statues of animals, big and small. There's an aquarium, wide and tall, with real live penguins, 20 in all. African penguins don't like ice. For them, a warmer place is nice. Here comes Pam with fish in her pail. The penguins are fed twice a day without fail. Pam enters the tank through the sky-painted wall. A hidden door there leads out to a hall. Some of the penguins look just the same. Wingbands help Pam call the birds by name. One day, aquatic biologist Pam, observing the penguins, saw one in a jam. Gently, gently, she examined Pierre. His feathers were gone. His bottom was bare. Pierre was afraid to go for a swim. He'd get too cold if he dived right in. How can I help you? What can I do? Pam had ideas and tried the first two. She tried a heater and the vet-prescribed pills, but nothing worked. Pierre shivered still. The other penguins grew afraid of Pierre. He looked so strange that he gave them a scare. They braided him as he shivered on shore. They made him feel worse than he felt before. One rainy day, biologist Pam came up with a new idea. Shazam! My
dog wears a raincoat, she told the vet. Could Pierre wear a wetsuit? The vet said, you bet. Pam and a friend worked day and night to make a pattern that fit just right. Then, a company that works with neoprene made the smallest wetsuit you've ever seen. Carefully, Pam put on Pierre a wetsuit a featherless penguin could wear. Standing on a rock in his new wetsuit, Pierre the Penguin looked mighty cute. He felt nice and warm, and he wanted to swim. So what did he do? He dived right in. Splash! Whee! Now Pierre stood proud and tall, and nobody braided him at all. 6 weeks went by, and then a surprise. Pam could hardly believe her eyes. Not only was Pierre no longer cold, he had new feathers. Observe and behold. Now warm in water, now warm on shore. Guess who didn't need his wetsuit anymore? Pierre made a nest for his very best friend. Their story goes on, thanks to Pam. The end.
Hi, kids.
Let's meet a doctor.
Hello, Doctor.
Chapter 1. The Youngest Patients. Our class is on a mission. We want to find out what a doctor does. We decide to talk to Dr. Zambille. He's a pediatrician. That's a doctor who treats children. Doctors are workers in the community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. I help kids feel their best, he says.
How do you do that?
Asks Jaden. Dr. Zambille explains by telling us about his day. Dr. Zambille works in a clinic. He sees about 20 patients each day. They are babies, children, and teenagers. Some are sick or hurt. I find out what's wrong, he says. They may need medicine. They may need to rest. Sometimes they need to go to the hospital. Doctors write prescriptions for medicine. A prescription tells a pharmacist what medicine a patient needs.
Here you go.
It also tells the patient when to take the medicine. Sick or injured children may see a specialist. A specialist is a doctor who treats one part of the body, such as the heart. Some specialists are also pediatricians. JJ raises his hand.
I went to the hospital when I was little, but I'm better now.
Good, Dr. Zambiel says. That's our goal. We want you to be healthy so you can reach your goals too.
My goal is to be a tightrope walker,
Nick says. Uh-oh, Dr. Zambiel says. Chapter 2. Checkups.
I went to the doctor when I wasn't sick,
Katya says. That's good, Dr. Zambiel says. Kids should see a doctor once a year for checkups. He checks their ears. He listens to their hearts. He asks if they eat healthy food. He asks if they run around. These things help kids stay well.
Okay, hold still.
Doctors examine ears with a tool called an otoscope. They listen to the heart with a stethoscope. Shots make you immune to some diseases, such as measles. That means your body protects itself from the germs that cause the disease.
Do you give kids shots?
Paul asks. Don't worry, dear. You'll be just fine. Nurses do, Dr. Zambiel says. They took classes. That didn't hurt a bit, did it? They know how to make the shots hurt less. Chapter 3. Doctor School.
Did you have to take classes too?
Asks Paul. Yes, lots of them, Dr. Zambiel says. We learned that Dr. Zambiel went to grade school for 9 years, high school for 4 years, and college for 4 years. Then he had medical school and training for 7 years. That's 24 years of school and a lot of homework. Medical school lasts 4 years. Then students become residents and fellows. They see patients. Other doctors help them. This takes 3 to 10 years. When I'm not at the clinic, I teach, Dr. Zambiel says.
Like Ms. Wynn.
We say, looking at our teacher. Yes, but I don't teach in a classroom, he says. I teach at the hospital. My students learn to be doctors by seeing real patients. Open wide. Wider. That's it. Medical students spend time at a hospital during every year of medical school. Experienced doctors teach them how to treat patients. Lainey raises her hand.
I was a real patient. I went to the hospital when I broke my arm.
You probably had an X-ray. Dr. Zambiel holds one up.
That's what it looks like on the inside. Oh, I want one.
X-rays are pictures that show the bones and organs inside your body. But most of the time, these aren't needed during a visit to the doctor. We all want to tell Dr. Zambiel about our injuries, but he has to go see patients. And we have to go to recess. Running around keeps us healthy. Because Dr. Zambiel lends a hand to help us feel our best, we give him a hand.
Aw, thanks, kids.
Allegro. A magical journey through 11 musical masterpieces. One rainy afternoon, Allegro sat at the old family piano. He was plink, trying to plunk, practice his latest bonk piece. But slam! It just wasn't going well. I hate this music, Allegro said. He crumpled it up into a tiny ball and threw it on the floor. There it lay, like a pale dot against the dark wood. But dots are funny things, because if they grow lines, and more lines, and march in lines, they become something that just might transport you to magical places. Away Allegro went, carried off on the sounds of enchanting melodies. He danced with the sailors of wind-tossed ships. He walked in the fragrant meadows of morning's first light. And he explored the shores of uncharted lands. Some melodies were sad and made his heart ache. Some were triumphant and made his heart swell. times, he wanted to dance a jig. At times, he wanted to march and sing. And at the best of times, he wanted to stand up and shout with joy. I am Allegro! And then slowly, slowly, like the dimming light of the setting moon, the music faded. And Allegro was back home. It was still time to practice. So he did. And he did. And he did.
Come along, kids. Hi, Officer Gabby. Hello, kids.
Let's meet a police officer. Chapter 1. Officer Gabby's assignment.
Hi.
Today, our class is having a visitor.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to find out what a police officer does.
Oh.
We invited Officer Gabby.
Hi, Officer Gabby.
She works at our school.
So nice to meet you.
I keep our neighborhood safe, says Officer Gabby.
Oh, and our school,
says Madeline. Officer Gabby is a school resource officer. That's her assignment. Making students safe is her job.
You are important to me, so I need to keep you safe. Please stop.
She stops cars at the crosswalk.
It's okay to cross now, kids.
Thank you.
And she warns us about strangers. Never take rides from strangers. Every police officer has an assignment. Different assignments have different jobs. Traffic officers give tickets. Field training officers teach new officers. School resource officers help students.
Did you get your assignment from police school?
Asks Phoebe.
Oh.
From my police department, says Officer Gabby. First, I was a patrol officer. It was part of my training. I worked hard. Then I got a new assignment.
Roger. Officer Gabby on the way.
We're happy she did. Officers start training in school. Their school is a police academy. They go to this school after they finish high school. They study the law there. They practice directing traffic and other skills. The academy helps them get ready for their assignments. Chapter 2. Officer Ken and a Canine. Most officers wear a police uniform. Special clothes and tools are part of this uniform. 1051 at 1422 Pine Street. Officer Gabby's uniform is talking.
Whoa!
Go for Officer Gabby. Officer Gabby, please report in. Roger.
What's that noise?
Asks Beckett. My police radio, she says. Officer Ken is on patrol. The radio is how he shares information.
Officer Ken reporting in.
Officers talk over a police radio. They use numbers. Some numbers are paired with 10. The pairs are instructions. 1051 is tow truck needed. 104 is I hear you. Using numbers is a fast way of talking. Officer Ken works in the neighborhood. He drives a police car. Police cars have technology tools. A radio sends messages. A camera records what officers see. There's even room for a computer. Officers look up cars' license plate numbers. They also type reports. Some patrol officers use helicopters or boats.
Chopper 1 is en route.
Others ride bicycles or motorcycles.
Roger that. Heading over.
Still others work on horseback.
Giddy up, Officer Carrots. Let's go.
Patrol officers get information on the go. They use technology to help them do their jobs.
Halt! Who goes there?
Officer Ken has a canine partner. Canine partners are also called police dogs. Officer Ken's canine partner is named Badge.
Keep an open eye, Badge. There's trouble afoot.
Sniffing out things is a canine partner's job. Badge finds people and hidden objects. And he wears a uniform too.
All right, Badge. Start smelling.
Canine partners use a special tool. That tool is their nose. A dog's sense of smell is 1,000 times stronger than a human's. Police dogs can follow a trail for miles. They can pick up a scent underground. They can even smell things underwater. Chapter 3, Team Safety.
What is your question?
Do officers have people partners? Asks Ben. Many do, says Officer Gabby. We also work with officers in other towns, cities, states, and countries.
Roger that. Standing by.
Roger that. Sending it back up. By teaming up, we can keep you safer.
Code 4. We got him.
Go Team Safety, says Ben. Police officers are part of a community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. Not all police officers work in a neighborhood. State police patrol highways. They keep roads safe across the state. FBI agents protect the country. They gather information to fight crime, and they help catch people who break the law.
Your fingerprints were found at the scene of the crime. We know you did it. Tell us why.
FBI headquarters are in Washington, D.C., but FBI agents work around the world. The agents collect fingerprints. They watch areas for crime. They also use science to solve cases. Even we help team safety. We buckle our seatbelts.
Hey, you guys are being mean.
We stand up against bullying.
Oh, we're sorry.
When there's an emergency, we dial 911.
Yay!
Officer Gabby makes our neighborhood safe. So we give our neighborhood helper a hand too.
Give her a round of applause, kids. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure to be here.
Party Nazari's fantastic future. Oh.
Hey, Nazari, what would you like to be when you grow up?
What tantalizing things await me? Ooh. Ah. Daddy, what about doing what astronauts do and fly to a new planet?
Whoa! Houston, this is Nazari. Do you copy?
Or I can be a farmer and make sure the food the world eats is organic. Yep, good crop season this year. Daddy! What about being a construction worker and building homes for all? Going up? Whee! Or I can be an engineer and make a bridge to the moon that won't fall. I got it! I'm coming for you, Moon. Daddy, what about being a doctor? So I can treat people that have been twisted and twirled. Deep breath. You're gonna be just fine. Or I can be a scientist and freely light up the world. Let's see here. Eureka! I've done it again. Daddy! What about traveling the world and seeing each culture's beauty? This looks delicious. Hi, I'm Nazari. Or I can clean teeth as a dentist with toothpaste that is fruity. Open wide. Have you been flossing? Good job. Wait, Daddy. Can I do all of them?
Little Heroes, Inventors Who Changed the World. Kai Loon. Little Kai liked watching wasps make their delicate nests from strips of bamboo. In AD 105, Kai gathered tiny pieces of bark, old rags, and fishing nets. He mixed them together, pressed the mixture flat, and dipped it in water. When the sheet dried, presto! Kai had invented the first piece of paper. Johannes Gutenberg. Like a new star, it shall scatter the darkness of ignorance and cause a light heretofore unknown to shine amongst men. Little Johannes lived at a time when hardly anyone had books because it took too long to write out copies by hand. Around 1439, Johannes set metal letters down in a block. Adding ink and paper, Johannes created the first printing press. He could print thousands of pages in no time. Ideas started spreading around the globe. Leonardo da Vinci. Learning never exhausts the mind. Little Leonardo was curious about everything. He watched, he measured, he wrote, he wondered. He drew plans for machines that became real hundreds of years later, like a submarine, bicycle, and helicopter. With his greatest tool, a paintbrush, Leonardo invented ways to paint that made him the most famous artist in the world. Thomas Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Little Thomas was always reading and asking questions. One question was, why must I use dirty, smelly gas lamps to light my home at night? He began to tinker with light bulbs. In 1879, after hundreds of failed attempts, he finally found a way to keep one lit. Now people all over the world use electricity to see in the dark. Louis Pasteur. To know how to wonder and question is the first step toward discovery. Little Louis lived when no one really knew why people got sick. Using his microscope, he looked and looked and looked for the answer. Finally, Louis discovered something no one else could see: germs. He found that if you boiled the germs, they went away. In 1885, Louis learned that germs could protect people too. Since then, Louis' vaccines have saved millions of lives. Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Little Marie loved to study elements, materials that come from the earth. She tested a special rock until she found a strange glowing blue light. What could it be? Marie had discovered a brand new element, Radium! Doctors soon found that radium could fight off deadly cancers. In 1903, Marie was the first woman to ever win a Nobel Prize. The Wright brothers. Isn't it astonishing that all these secrets have been preserved for so many years just so we could discover them? Little Wilbur and Orville were brothers who liked to tinker with machines. One day, their father brought home a toy helicopter that flew. They wanted to fly too. They studied the wings, the tail, and everything they needed to know about flight. Crashing never discouraged them for long. Finally, in 1903, they flew the first airplane. Grace Murray Hopper. If you've got a good idea and you know it's going to work, go ahead and do it. Little Grace loved learning about math, science, and cool gadgets. Once, she took apart 7 alarm clocks just to see how the gears worked. When she got older, Grace figured out how to program a room-sized computer to respond to human language, not just number codes. Now people all over the world can use computers every day. These heroes imagined and invented a better world. What kind of hero will you be?
Let's take a look, shall we? Let's meet a veterinarian. Chapter 1. Even tigers say, ah. Today, our class is having a visitor. We want to know what a veterinarian does. We invited Dr. Kate, the veterinarian. Hello, kids. She helps us take care of Henry. Henry is our class guinea pig. He is also Dr. Kate's patient. Veterinarians are people in the community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. I help keep animals healthy, says Dr. Kate. Dr. Kate gives Henry a checkup. She checks his eyes and ears. They look great. Aw, great job, Henry.
Oh, can I be next?
Asks Ethan. Dr. Kate says veterinarians don't see human patients. Veterinarians, also called vets, are doctors for animals. But their work can help people stay healthy too. Some animal illnesses can make people sick. Vets find cures for those illnesses. Then they share the cures with people doctors. Let's take a look, shall we? Perfect. Dr. Kate is a small animal vet. She treats pets such as dogs and rabbits.
Good boy. Aw. Small animal vets work in an office. Their patients visit them there. But vets for farm or zoo animals go to their patients. An elephant can't fit in a waiting room after all. There are also vets for large animals and wild animals. They help out at farms and zoos. Even tigers say,
Ah! Ooh, tiger breath. Looks good. Yes, I see. Yes. This pig is very healthy because his tail is curly. Yes.
Vets go to a special school. They study how to care for animals.
When you check a pig's ear, you must lift it up to see inside.
They learn about protecting them in zoos, on farms, and in your home.
Yes.
Then they can help other animal helpers, like wildlife rescuers and pet owners. Before people become veterinarians, they make a promise. They say the veterinarian's oath. Part of the oath is promising they'll be kind to animals. A kind doctor can be the best medicine. Chapter 2, Harry Henry. Yikes! What happened to Henry's fur?
Oh, Henry, you're so fuzzy.
He looks like Joy's fuzzy pencil.
They're both fluffy.
Dr. Kate has just the thing for messy hair. A brush.
Ta-da!
She says it's one of the many tools vets use. Brush, brush, brush. Good job, Henry. Phew! All better. Some pets love getting messy, but naughty fur or muddy paws can make them sick. So vets groom their patients. Groom means to clean. Vets trim beaks, wash hooves, and even brush teeth. Pet owners can learn how to groom their pets by watching a vet. Sometimes an animal has problems with its fur, scales, or feathers. A dog can get bugs that make its body itchy. Here you are, sir. 1 pill a day and a good long bath. Don't worry, buddy. This will be quick. A lizard can get a broken nail. Vets have special tools for solving these problems. Well, hello there. Aww. A vet's tools are made for animals, so they look different from the ones your doctor uses. Your doctor has a scale that's right for your size. But how does a vet weigh a mouse? A vet has a scale that's the perfect size. Looking good. Vets also use many of the same tools that people doctors use. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Everything sounds good. They use a stethoscope for listening to the heart. Does someone want a snack? They have an X-ray machine for seeing bones. Don't worry, Liam. It'll be quick. They also give shots that stop nasty germs.
dear. Oh, dear.
See? Over and done with. Goodbye. Liam sure doesn't like shots. He bets most animals don't either. Chapter 3. Good Henry Helpers.
Whoa, look at him go!
No worries for Henry today. His checkup was easy. Dr. Kate says he's healthy.
Oh, good job, Henry. Yay, Henry! Good job, Henry. He's so happy.
That means we're good Henry helpers,
says Ella. Thanks to Dr. Kate, we learn how to take even better care of him.
He looks great.
You kids did a great job today. It feels great when your pet is healthy. But what if a pet gets sick? Good pet helpers call their pets vet. Vets work hard at making their patients better. A healthy pet makes a vet feel great too. Dr. Kate shows us the right foods for Henry. She talks about ways he can get exercise. But most important, she makes us promise to give him lots of love.
Thank you, Dr. Kate.
Thank you, Dr. Kate.
It's a promise we always keep. Dr. Kate lends a hand with Henry. So we give our animal helper a hand too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Dream you'll be. Go to bed, each sleepy child, and dream what dreams you might. Dreaming's good most any time, but especially at night. Dream you'll be a movie star with your name lit up in lights. Or that you'll be a superhero, flying around in tights. Would you like to be a doctor, saving people's lives? Or perhaps a beekeeper, tending buzzing hives. What if you're a musketeer, fighting battles with your sword? Or a world-class surfer, catching waves upon your board? Whoa! Maybe you're an architect, designing a brand new city. Or are you a writer, telling stories warm and witty? You could be a brave firefighter, running through a fire. Or a fearless acrobat, high upon a wire. Whoa! Perchance you'll be a dancer, leaping across the floor. Or maybe a soccer star with the winning score. How about a veterinarian curing a giant snake? Or a skillful baker baking a giant cake. See yourself as a teacher, helping children think. Or a figure skater, gliding around a rink. You'd make a fine police officer, saving people in distress. Or a bold explorer, finding the monster of Loch Ness. Imagine you're an astronaut bouncing on the moon. Or maybe you're a famous rocker belting out a tune. Yeah! Dream that you're a pirate sailing oceans blue. Or a brilliant scientist finding something new. Whoa. Do you wish you were a pilot soaring to great heights? Or a clever artist painting the world's great sights? Maybe you're a mountaineer climbing to the summit. Or a fearless skydiver whose job it is to plummet. You could be a football player winning games with teammates. Or maybe you're the president of these United States. This world is full of many things to dream that you can be. Just remember, you're already the most precious thing to me. Now, close your eyes, each sleepy child, and dream what dreams you may. I'll see you in the morning when you start a brand new day.
Irving Berlin, the immigrant boy who made America sing. Irving stood on tiptoe to see over the rail. Behind him, too far to glimpse, was Russia, where angry Cossacks had burned his family's home to ashes. Ahead was America. What would they find there? Suddenly, people pointed to a strange green figure in the distance. Was this the famous Statue of Liberty? The passengers whispered. Then a melody rose and flew to her like Noah's dove in search of safe land. Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel. Irving's heart lifted and soared. His thin, high voice joined in, gathering strength with each note. The statue seemed to welcome them. God bless America, his mother said. God bless America, Irving whispered. He could hear the statue singing her own special song, low and warm. One day, Irving promised himself, I'm going to write a song just for her. Life in America was strange. Instead of his small shtetl with dirt roads and wooden houses, Irving wove his way through crowded sidewalks. Big buildings blocked the light. Carriages rumbled down streets, and a crazy, thrilling metal contraption called an elevated train clanked and whooshed overhead. He still heard Yiddish and Russian, but now it was mixed with English, Italian, and German from all the different people who had come to America. Music was everywhere. Irving sang in the synagogue with his father, who had been a cantor in Russia, the one whose voice carried people's prayers to the heavens. Walking home, the melodies in his head mixed with the crack of stickball games, the wail of the ragmen, and the creak of cartwheels on the cobblestones. Back in his family's crowded apartment, there were more sounds. The steady treadle of the sewing machine in the apartment next door, the thump of his mother kneading dough, and soft laughter when his father pressed his cheek against her floury face. Irving lay awake, late at night, trying to fit all the notes and words together. When Irving was 13, his father died. Still a boy, Irving quit school to sell newspapers, earning pennies to help feed his family. Ashamed of being another mouth to feed, he scrounged scraps and slept in a dirty tenement with hundreds of other ragged homeless kids. Even there, he was always listening. Snatches of jazz, bits of lullabies, whispered jokes. One day, while he was selling papers, he couldn't stop the notes swirling in his head. He burst out singing. People stopped, smiled, and tossed him coins. Irving stared at the bits of copper glinting in the sun. People were paying him for music? Would they do it again? He tried singing popular songs on street corners. Irving didn't have the strongest voice, but his hummable melodies and catchy rhymes made people smile and stick around for more. People threw enough coins that a passing restaurant owner noticed and offered Irving a job as a singing waiter. A real job, making music. Irving wanted to write the melodies he heard in his head and felt in his heart, but he didn't know how. So every day after the restaurant emptied, he slowly tried to pick out tunes on the old piano. At first, he was terrible, but slowly he got better. People noticed. When a singer at another restaurant wrote a hit song, Irving's boss asked him to do the same thing. Irving still didn't know how to write down music, but the restaurant's pianist did. He helped Irving write Marie from Sunny Italy. They sold it for 37 cents. At 19, Irving was a paid songwriter. Word spread about the talented singing waiter. Irving was hired to write words for songs by the Ted Snyder Company. But he wanted to write the melodies too. He sang tunes to a pianist and paid him a few cents to write down the notes. 4 years after his first sale, Irving wrote Alexander's Ragtime Band. The song was so catchy, so irresistible, it became an international hit. Years later, stars like Al Jolson, Louis Armstrong, and Judy Garland would perform it. People all the way in Irving's native Russia went wild dancing to it. Irving wasn't a waiter anymore. His songs made a lot more than pennies. Now he and his family were never hungry or worried about how to pay rent. But even after he moved to a fancy apartment, Irving would walk a few blocks to his old neighborhood in the Bowery, where he could listen to the rhythms of the street, the sounds that would fill his music. When the United States entered World War I, the Army put Irving to work, writing patriotic songs. He wrote an entire Broadway musical for the soldiers called Yip Yip Yap Hank. His mother watched proudly, wishing his father could hear the applause as Sergeant Berlin sang, "Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning." Every night, the audience roared as Irving and the 300-person cast marched down the aisles and out the door, singing the final song, "We're on our way to France." On closing night, the soldiers marched out the door and onto the troop carrier, which took most of them to France for real. "20 years later, when the United States was getting ready to enter World War II, Irving wanted to help his country again. He picked up a song that he'd originally written for the World War I show finale but never used. It ended with 3 notes from the Shema, as he remembered hearing them on the boat coming to America long ago when the statue had smiled at his prayer. He blended the melody with his mother's words, "God bless America." At the end of the old melody, he added new words about the land he loved. Irving showed the song to his friend, Kate Smith, the famous singer. Would she understand what he was trying to say? Kate hummed the notes, read the words, and nodded. From the mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam, Americans all over the country huddled around their radios, listening to Kate Smith sing "God Bless America." On the eve of the dark days of World War II, the song filled them with hope and courage. It still fills people with hope and courage. Over the years, Irving earned a lot of money from songs like "Always," "There's No Business Like Show Business," and "White Christmas." But he never took a penny for "God Bless America." Irving gave everything the song earned, millions of dollars, to children in the Girl and Boy Scouts. It was his thank you to the country that opened its arms to countless people from all over the world, including a homeless boy who came to America with nothing but music in his heart.
Beautiful shades of brown. The art of Laura Wheeler Waring. Laura loved the color brown. She loved her mother's chocolate-colored hair, her father's caramel coat, and all the different browns in the cheeks of her younger sister and brothers. Some languages have 50 words for snow, she thought, swirling her brush in a puddle of chestnut paint. There should be 50 words for brown. It was hard to get each shade right. Laura dabbed a spot of paint on her skin. It didn't match at all. Not until she added some red and yellow. Maybe you didn't see brown in a rainbow, she thought. But brown was a rainbow, with orange and blue, red and green tucked inside, playing hide and seek. Laura spent hours mixing and blending, trying for the precise shade of the russet crinkles by her father's eyes and the coffee-colored creases in her mother's hands. She bribed her sister and brothers with peppermints to sit, while she tried to capture all their colors. One day, she dreamed, her paintings would hang in museums, and everyone would see how much color brown could hold. That was a crazy idea for a 10-year-old in Connecticut in 1897. African Americans had separate neighborhoods, churches, and schools. Nobody was going to put paintings of African Americans on museum walls. Laura was young, but she was determined. Maybe there weren't portraits of African Americans in museums yet, but she could turn her room into a gallery. At least there, her sister and brothers could see pictures of people with all different shades of brown smiling back at them. All through high school, Laura wanted only one thing: to go to a real art school, a place where she could learn to get the images she saw in her head out onto canvas. She applied to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. It was far from home, expensive, and nearly all white. But when she got the acceptance letter, there was no question. Laura would get a job if she had to, but she would go. The academy was a good start, but Laura was hungry to learn more, to be around real artists. Everyone knew there was only one place to study art: Paris. Laura worked hard and won a scholarship. Clutching her paint box, she boarded a ship. Just like at school, nearly everyone around her was white. But her sketchbook was filled with portraits of people she loved, with luminous brown tones she didn't want to forget. In Paris, Laura visited museums and studied the paintings of Monet, Manet, and Cézanne. She set up her easel in the Jeu de Paume and copied the green skin of Lautrec's singers, the blue faces of Matisse's women, the caramel bodies of Gauguin's Tahitians. All the different ways people could be painted reminded Laura of what she'd wanted from the start: to paint portraits like the people she knew, people full of beautiful shades of brown. Back home in Philadelphia, Laura heard about a young African-American singer performing Handel's Messiah at the Union Baptist Church. Marian Anderson was just a teenager, but when she walked out on stage, she held her head as high as a queen. Then Marian sang, and she didn't sound young at all. Laura's eyes filled with tears. It was as if she was hearing what she had been trying to paint for so long. Marian's notes rose and danced about her in beautiful shades of brown. One day, I'm going to paint Marian Anderson, Laura promised herself. Paris had made Laura's painting more bold and confident. News spread about the remarkable artist whose subjects breathed on canvas. In 1944, the director of the Harmon Foundation told Laura they wanted to build a collection of portraits of important African Americans. Would Laura like to paint them? Yes, she would. painted journalist and activist Alice Dunbar Nelson with ebony brown gloves on her rosy brown skin, proud in a bright yellow dress. She painted Broadway lyricist and poet James Weldon Johnson, a dashing dark mustache on his sensitive face. She painted educator and writer W.E.B. Du Bois, wearing a warm brown suit and smoky topaz tie, holding sorrel-colored glasses. Laura was looking for more subjects when she saw a familiar name in the news. Marian Anderson had just been invited to sing at the White House, the first African American to do so. Marian's music was breaking down walls. Could a portrait by Laura break down walls too? Laura asked Marian if she would sit for a portrait. Yes, she would. Day after day, Marian posed. Laura mixed shades of brown, burnt umber with yellow and dabs of white. No, that wasn't it. How about a little green and violet? Closer. Laura wiped her paint-spattered forehead. Traces of red and cerulean blue? Laura looked at Marian and saw again the teenager singing so soulfully years ago. She heard again the music in all its beautiful shades of brown. She felt the melody travel down her fingers as she dipped her brush into the paints of her palette and found the exact luminous shade of Marian's beautiful brown skin, her gown, the room. Laura put down her brush. She held her breath as Marian studied the painting, hoping the great singer would see her spirit mirrored there. Marian smiled. Yes, she did. People flocked to see Laura's paintings as they traveled around the country. After the tour, the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. hung Laura's paintings in the National Portrait Gallery. Now her portraits weren't hidden in her bedroom, but hung in gilt frames on the walls of a real museum. Now everyone could see the rainbow shining through each tone of brown. And children, like her nieces and nephews, could see faces like theirs and how beautiful they were.
Sweet dreams, Sarah. Before the Civil War, Sarah obeyed her owner. Hurry up. Eyes down. Don't speak. Slaves were property, like a cow or a plow or the cotton that grew in the master's fields. But every day, Sarah dreamed of a different life. A husband, a family, a job that she loved. Her father was a carpenter. With a hammer in his hands, he could build anything. Sarah thought she could too. Then something happened that changed their lives forever. A new law freed people from slavery. Sarah moved to Chicago with freedom in her pocket, hope in her heart, and dreams swirling in her head. She made her first dream come true when she married a kind stair builder named Archibald Good. They started a family, her second dream. Sarah rented out rooms in their home to people who needed a place to live. She saved every penny she could to pay for her third dream, her own furniture store. Every day, Sarah worked alongside her husband. Measure, cut, sand. And every day, Sarah listened to her customers. Pretty crowded at our place. There are 5 of us crammed into one room. Sure wish the kids had their own bed. Many of Sarah's customers worked at low-paying jobs, and even those with big families could only afford to live in a one-room apartment. Sarah looked at the furniture in their store. Too boxy, too bulky, too big. Then Sarah had an idea, another dream. Maybe she could build a piece of furniture that would save space for her customers. If she could create a new kind of bed that folded up when it wasn't being used, each kid could have their own bed. Sarah hurried to the lumber yard, clutching her precious saved coins, and when she returned home, she began building her invention. Measure, cut, sand. Finally, she hammered in the last nail. Standing back, she looked at her creation, a desk, but not just any desk. Inside the cabinet doors, a fold-out bed was hidden. Sarah pulled. She pushed. Stuck. Sarah took it all apart and started over again. But everything went wrong. Wood split, nails bent. The bed wouldn't lay flat. Sarah didn't give up. She took a deep breath and dove right in to fix it again. At last, she stepped back and smiled. Now, when she pulled out the bed, it slid back in without a catch or a squeak. Archibald wanted to sell it in the store right away, but Sarah knew there was one more thing she had to do. She dreamt it, She'd built it. Now she needed to claim it. Sarah needed to get a patent. A patent is a piece of paper from the government that says no one else can make or sell your invention. If someone else got the patent first, Sarah would lose the right to make and sell her cabinet beds. Sarah met with a patent attorney and they filled out the application. She explained how her cabinet bed was a new and useful idea. Sarah slipped the documents into an envelope and mailed it. And the waiting began. Months passed. Had the application gotten lost in the mail? Had they found out she was a woman or that she was black? Sarah knew some people thought a woman should stay at home to cook and clean and take care of the children. She knew that others believed if you had dark skin, you didn't have a right to own anything, and certainly not a patent. But Sarah knew better. After a year, a letter finally arrived. Denied. There were already patents on similar inventions. Sarah needed to prove hers was different. Carefully, she changed a word here and a sentence there, explaining more about her unique mechanism, the idea that had come to her so long ago. Slipping the paperwork and a bit of her heart into the envelope, Sarah sealed her fate and sent it off. Once again, she waited. This time, a thick envelope arrived from the U.S. Government Patent Office. Sarah took a slow, deep breath. She slid out the papers. She read out loud. S.E. Good, cabinet bed. Number 322177. Patented July 14th, 1885. Staring at her name in print, Sarah proudly traced each letter. Her idea, her invention, her name in history. She had built more than a piece of furniture. She had built a life far away from slavery. A life where her sweet dreams could come true.
If you don't have Vooks, what are you waiting for? It's a kid-safe, ad-free library full of storybooks that are brought to life. Ask your grown-up and start exploring more fun stories like these. Seriously, you have to check it out.
Thanks for watching. For more stories, try the Vooks app for free today.